If you struggle with rumination, I'm going to give you an effect that's been proven over decades to help you close the loop and stop ruminating on these crazy thoughts. What's up, team? It's Dave Mugger, head coach at PSYFI Performance Psychology. We help high performers like you with 2-minute tools. So rumination is something that I've seen high performers deal with a lot. Why? Because we got a lot on our brains and we want to close things out in order for us to move on and get going where we need to get going in other places. So what came up was this thing called the Zeigarnik Effect when I was studying rumination. And what this is this beautiful philosophy that Bulmer Zeigarnik observed when she was in France at a French cafe. And so what she saw was that these waiters were running around with all these tables with 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 people at them. They were taking their orders with no pens and no paper and no devices. And they remember everything that they want, everything the person wanted, from the drinks to the eating to where they were sitting. So Bulma decided to go and ask them, hey, what did the person at table 5 at position number 3 have? Oh, they had a French croissant with some butter and jelly and a double espresso. She was blown away. Oh my gosh, look, these people have this incredible memories. Then here's the tricky part. She went back to them after the waiter had dropped and closed the check and asked them the same thing. Hey, that person at table 5, position 3, what do they have? The waiter had no idea. So what she started formulating is what we now know as the Zeigarnik Effect, is that when a loop is open, the check is not dropped, our head, our brain will focus on this and keep replaying the information over and over and over again. It will essentially ruminate on it. Rumination comes from, if anyone doesn't know, what cows do. So cows are ruminids. They have multiple stomachs, and what they do is they ruminate. So when they eat grass, they're sitting there chewing on the grass, num, 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 num. They swallow it and then they barf it back up. Num, 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 barf it back up. This is literally to ruminate. So when you think about our intrusive thoughts, this is the same thing. This thought comes up, we think about it, let it swirl around a little bit in our prefrontal cortex, we swallow it back down. Minutes, hours, days later, we barf it back up. And what this happens over and over and over again for those of us that ruminate. So knowing this and knowing what's going on, how do we break this cycle? Well, we love to close the loop on something. This is the Zeigarnik Effect is all about, closing the loop. That once that check is dropped, that thing is taken care of and done. So if we have bigger projects that we're working on and we want to get them done and not ruminate about them, here's 2 things you can do. 1, write the stuff down. If you put it down on a piece of paper or put it in your calendar, your brain closes the loop and knows that that thing's going to be done at another time. Or 2, break this big thing down in a smaller chunk so you get 1 chunk done today, 1 chunk tomorrow, 1 chunk the next day, and then eventually you close that whole loop. You may not close the entire loop right away, but you're closing little bits and pieces of the loop, and according to the Zeigarnik Effect, which I have seen this work for myself and my clients, this will take care of itself. Close the loop, stop ruminating on this project, and you're done. This is the beauty of working with our brain compared to working against it. If we do not recognize that this is going on in our heads, we are ruminating, we are barfing these thoughts back up, we're not closing the loop, we're going to continue doing this over and over and over again. So the best way to close this loop, the best way to stop ruminating, is to realize this effect does exist, you're engaging in it, and break it down into those chunks that I just talked about. Team, give this a go. If you found this helpful, send it to another high performer who's struggling with rumination, which a lot of us do. Make sure you give it a like and a subscribe so you don't miss other 2-minute tools.